I have been taking a few interviews recently in organizations looking for leadership trainers, facilitators, coaches, and they have all asked me this one question. Now, it has been a while since I have taken an interview, so perhaps this is normal, or perhaps it comes from them looking at my LinkedIn or my resume and noticing the different areas of work I've had, and they're just intrinsically curious. I want to share that question with you today, and I thought the focus of this video would be me sharing that answer with you as well, in case you might be wondering the same thing. The question is, so tell me your journey. How did you get here? I'm going to share with you how I answered that. And if I haven't already introduced myself, my name's Tammy. I am a leadership coach, communication skills trainer. So here's what I say in response to that question, or what I've been hearing myself say in response to that question. In order to understand how I got to where I am, like what my journey is, we need to go back in time to when I was working for a supervisor that I was struggling with. We did not seem to have the right language. We butted heads. And I considered myself a confident, capable, and assertive communicator, and I just wasn't figuring out how to work with her. And I would go to our supervisor, so my immediate supervisor was the challenge, and the one above us, I would go to them looking for guidance and support, and I really found that there was a lack of substance in the advice. Instead of giving me some tools on how to have a conversation, I would get, just play nice, try harder, keep your head down. Over years, because I worked for this lady for 3.5, almost 4 years, I think. We'll say 3.5. It wasn't until the midway part that I actually found out she was a bully. Up until then, I just thought she was a bad manager, untrained, really young, and I could support her. But we weren't getting anywhere, to be fair. And then someone said something to me that made me realize that, oh my God, she's actually a bully, and I didn't notice that. Now, I didn't have any more tools, I just had new insight, and so as a result, I did the same thing I was doing before, just louder, more frequently, with more conviction. And what was happening at the same time is I was getting sick, developing anxiety, panic attacks, and becoming so afraid of seeing her, then afraid of being in the building, afraid of being on the block, that I eventually developed agoraphobia. I was stuck in my house, afraid to look at my phone, afraid to look at my computer. I didn't want to look outside. I was a mess. And so I stood in the gap of an employee looking for resources and a leader who didn't know how to support. And while I was asking for tools, strategies, coaching, I wasn't getting what I needed. Fast forward, I'm on my recovery journey. I leave that organization, and honestly, I think fate put me on this path as much as anything else, because I took a teaching job after that. And in that teaching job, it was at a local college for nursing students. They assigned me communication skills. Now, honestly, I thought I was a fraud at first. I'm like, how am I going to teach them communication skills when I just had this experience and I was, so ineffective. But as I said, fate is funny. And as I worked through the content, I had so many light bulb moments, bing, 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 bing. And I realized that this was what I was looking for when I was asking the senior leaders for help. So I felt like I had found the missing link, and it excited me so much. It lit me up to know that now I had the tools that I needed back then, but I could help people with those things today. So that's the first kind of transition from how I got to where I was to where I am now. As a result of that, I started to keynote speak on workplace bullying. At the same time, before that, let me reset. At the same time as teaching communication skills, I was also in my master's program, and I studied workplace bullying in every course that I could fit it into. And so I have the lived experience. I've studied it now in my master's, and I'm now teaching the thing that I would have needed when I went through my journey. So I felt like I'm ready to go. Transition number 1 was keynote speaking on workplace bullying. That's how I started. My business was about educating others around the signs, the symptoms, the strategies. How do you deal with bullying? What I learned through that is socially, it's okay if I talk about it in keynote speeches. It's okay if I present about workplace bullying in organizational training. Where I found the struggle, the stress point, was that getting into an organization and actually helping deal with the problem, coaching, mentoring, guiding the person who is considered to be a bully, off limits. Individuals, organizations, and individuals in organizations, that was too close. So while I'm happy to keynote speak and provide organizational training, I actually wanted to make an impact on the ground. So I started running a Conquer Conflict group, training individuals how to have hard conversations. Then that evolved into shifting and making workplace bullying a subspecialty of what I do, and shifting the focus to leadership, communication, and development. And that's kind of the journey from target of workplace bullying to champion of conversations to leadership coach and trainer. Well, let me just tell you, that's where I end in the interview question. Now I'm just going to talk with you. Along that road, there's a lot of living happening. And so that's kind of like my Cole's Note version answer to that question, which usually sparks a few questions after that. But I wanted to share that with you today because I think if they're asking, maybe you guys don't know how I got here either. To be honest, I thought when I was a nurse, I thought I'd found my profession forever. I loved being a nurse. I loved sitting with individuals, walking with them through their journey, being a resource for them, a safe space for them. I loved it. Loved it. It was actually a really difficult decision to let that part of my life and my profession go. But I did that after the pandemic. The pandemic was another facilitator to this level of where I am now, this profession I am in now. And I knew it was time to let it go because I didn't want to go back to the bedside anymore. I wanted to be further upstream. And so while I still support targets, I'll never turn my back on a target of workplace bullying. If you are looking for the resources, you're looking for someone who can help you have those conversations, I'm here for you. The place where I can have the biggest impact is helping leaders not become a bully. And so here's my thing. I believe interpersonal problems require interpersonal solutions. Period. End. Full stop. So if you're looking for some more information, you want to check out more about me, I'll put the links for my website, tammydunnett.com. Head on over there if you want to talk more about how I can help you, whether that's a keynote, organizational training, happy to support that. Some leadership coaching development, happy to support that as well. And if you're a target of workplace bullying and you're looking for resources, I'm your girl. I've lived it, I've been there, I've come through it on the other side, and now I'm helping create better relationships in the workplace. Once again, my name's Tammy, and I'm your leadership coach and trainer, and that's my journey.